Jared pulling FroKnowsPhoto.com, and this is the Raw Edit of the Week, number 56, brought to you by Alan's Camera, and it's my turn to go ahead and do some edits to this, and let's see what we are going to do. So my idea, first things first with this files, I don't think there's terribly too much that needs to be done to it right now. The focus I want to keep is on the eyes, because that's why it was shot at 1.2 right here on the eyes. That is the main focus. It's a very well taken image. I love the bokeh, because how can you not shot at 1.2? That 85 1.2L lens version 2 is amazing. If I had a Canon, I would have one of those lenses, and I am working on that right now, hopefully getting one soon. So my idea here first is I want to pump up my contrast. I want to tweak the exposure up a little bit to give me a little bit more play with my contrast. I don't think there's really too much else to be done. A little bit on the clarity, but if you go too far with the clarity, you can go further with animals than you can with people. But let's start off. Let's bump the exposure a little bit. I tend to do this in my own stuff a lot. I don't know. I go there and then I bump my contrast, and of course I take it all the way right there. Let's see what these curves bring us today. Let's see what linear. I don't go that direction normally, and I don't go strong. I think strong is too much. I'm going to go right in the middle here. But that's just to start. Can we do fill light? I mean, you can bump a little bit in there and throw a little bit of black levels in there. I want to pull back on the yellow because it looks a little too warm for me. So I'm going to go like that. I don't want to go too far, whereas this area gets too much blue. And I don't need to bring the eyes out here. I feel that it's still a little yellow. How far can we go? I'm just looking to see where we can go with this. Because I like the warmth. I like that warmth right there. But here's a little quick thing. If you find a white area in the photo, you can try to do the white balance based on it. So we can go like this and say where it's pretty similar to what I did. So I'm undoing that. Now I'm going to move my tint a little bit. Not going to go that way. Not going to go too far that way. I really think the camera did a great job picking it out where it is here. Let me just go a little bit more yellow. I kind of have a thing for the warmth. And there's the warmth. You know what? Maybe a vignette could work with this one. It's not something I normally do with mine. But let's see what we can do here. Just based on the ears and everything, let's see if this works. That's with it off, not with it. I mean, I don't speak like that. That's with it on. I think this is going to draw us in. So let's see what we can do here. So we got the feather going. We got the roundness going. How round? Whoop. We'll go right about there. Midpoint. So there's this. I don't want it to be so defined. I want it to be more natural. So let's see what it looks like off. That's what it looks like off. That's what it looks like on. It's drawing me in a little bit. And I know that, yes, I am literally just moving these buttons around, these sliders around. My direction and goal was to get to this point. Moving into this effect, I'm not really too familiar with what each button is going to do independently, so I'm just dragging it to see what I like about it and what I don't like. I mean, there are some things up here I would prefer that this darkness was over here as well. I mean, I don't really want to go through and take that out. No, we like a lot of feather. I like a lot of feather. Just seeing what we got here. Just seeing what we got. Just playing around. Because I want to draw us back into the middle as much as possible. So I'm going to go with this for the time being. Let's do it off and on so you can just see what that is. That's on. That's off. And that's on. That's drawing us in. I think it makes it even warmer. So I'm going to do that. And I do want to try a black and white one. So I'm going to go with one here. Let's just see what happens when we hit the black and white button, how close it is. All right, it's too flat for my liking. So how do we bump it up? Boom. We've raised some things here. I don't know if I like this as much in black and white. Definitely too harsh. Definitely too harsh. Definitely too harsh. I'm liking the feel of the color because I'm not going to spend too much time right now with this. I'm sure there's going to be some good black and whites in there. But let me go back to the color. I like the feel of this. Let me just play with the temperature one more time. See what we come up with and find a resting point. No, no, no more green. I like this resting point. So this is where I'm going to stop. I added the post-crop vignette. I think it looks good. I would like it a little bit more in this area. So this is probably a point where you could go into Photoshop. And let's see. Let's see if we can... No, this is a job for Photoshop. This particular thing right there would be to add the same thing over here or take this out over here. But I like this. I like where I went with this. And now let's see what Adam did. You are up.
Adam Lerner, and here we are with this week's Raw Edit. We have a very nice doggy picture, and this is certainly a cute doggy with his floppy ear. I'm a huge dog person, having had dogs all my life and have a couple Chihuahuas. They're very nice subjects to photograph, and this photo is no exception. I like the shallow depth of field as the 85-1.2 has given us shot at 1.2, so we've got the eyes and the mouth in focus, the nose, the ears, everything else is faded out into soft focus, and the background is completely bokeh blown out. You know, so it's a really nice dog portrait, if you want to call it that. So I'm just going to do some basic adjustments here. I don't really feel like this one needs, you know, a major amount of work. So I'm just going to do some basic stuff. So I'm just going to add just a little bit of exposure, a little bit of fill, and some blacks. Something like right around there. I'm going to add some contrast to that. And I'm going to also bump up the clarity. I like what clarity does with dog's fur. It kind of gives the fur a little bit more definition. I'm just going to add a little bit of color temp. Because I just think it just needs to warm up just a touch. Something in that area right around there. And I just want to sharpen it. So we'll just grab one of his eyes or her eyes, whatever she or he is. And we'll just mask this off here so we get the line detail, edge detail, and not the texture detail so much. Something like right around there. Now it's a little bit dark for my taste, so I'm just going to bring the exposure up. Somewhere around there, just mask it off, and you know we've got a slight bit of extra highlight detail on the eyes, but those are in the catch lights, and I don't mind that at all. So we'll look at the before, we'll look at the after, and to me that has much more of a three-dimensional look to it, which I really like because of the focus and the framing. There is something three-dimensional about this image, so that is going to be my snapshot. So I'm going to call that snapshot number 2. And I'm going to leave it like that. Now, I thought about going black and white with this image, but I don't really want to go black and white. I looked at it black and white, hit the V key, and to me, it's just a little bit flat. I mean, it's a strong image, but, you know, maybe we'll just do a quick black and white one. Why not, while we're here? All right, so let's just add a little bit more fill to this image right here. We're just going to add some blacks. I'm just going to really just do this to taste. Maybe just add a hint of more exposure somewhere around there. Let's just see how that goes. Actually, you know, I kind of like what's happening with that. I mean, it's kind of a bit of a stray, and there's no pun intended, from where we originally started. But you know, let's just have a play with this. You know, let's just have fun with it. We'll bring that to about there, and let's just see. Maybe I'll just bring the brightness down just a touch. Yeah, it's super contrasty. Kind of like an edit like a friend of mine would do, something very contrasty. So we'll do something like that. We're just going to bring the color temperature down just a little bit, just to get a little bit more detail in there. Look at how that happens. Wow, that's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Now this little area is bugging me, so I'm going to hit the KT and we're going to go to the Dodge Lighten tool. I'm just going to bring that up a little bit, and I'll hit the overlay just so I see what area I'm working on. And I'll just hit that off because, you know, I don't really need to worry about it too much like that. Let's just pump that up somewhere around there. And you know what? That's pretty cool. I'm going to hit the K key again. We're going to get out of there. You know, it's a little bit more balanced without that bit over there. Still a little dark in that corner. You know, if I really wanted to take the time, I would definitely just go and I would clean all of this up like that. And you know what? Let's just do it. Let's take the time. Let's make it happen. And let's keep that as our black and white edit. I think that kind of does it for me. So that's going to be my black and white edit. I'm going to save this as snapshot number 3. And let's go off and see what Jared's got. All right.
All right. And we're back with Adam P. Lerner.
P?
I don't know. What's your middle name?
W.
Adam
Wolf.
Weston?
Wolf.
Oh, yes. Adam Wolf Lerner. I kind of knew that already. So what we are seeing here, Left picture is the photographer's edit. My edit is right here on the inside left. Adam's inside right, and far right with the black and white. Before we get to first thoughts on this ad, why don't I remind everybody that you can send in your raw files to froKnowsPhoto@gmail.com. I love to see portraits of women, portraits of men, kids portraits, people portraits, car portraits, dogs, animals, landscapes, everything that you can think of. Find your best raw file and start sending them in along with your edited JPEG. So 2 different files you're going to send to that email address. Only send one file, put the 2 files together, the RAW and the JPEG, and send it in an email, because maybe we'll pick your file to be the RAW edit of the week. So I'd love to see a bunch of them coming in so that we can have a lot of really good ones to choose from. So Adam, as you're reaching off screen, why don't you give your insight here? What do you think's going on? What are you thinking?
Well, Lee's is looking a little pink. The one on the far left.
And a little flat.
Little flat, little pink. But
and he cropped it too.
Yeah, kind of weird. I think he cropped it because he was too lazy to take it into Photoshop.
No, I see. You think so?
Well, I don't know.
So you've talked to him, right? You did a Flickr photo critique. I
didn't speak to him, but he came on the Spreecast, so he's been all over the Fro Nation lately.
Well, we had no idea. I mean, I had no idea.
I think he's infiltrating.
I had no idea. I just picked this raw file out of the folder, just like I pick every other one. I rarely look at the names. I look at the files before I look at names.
Yeah. Well, it looks like you did some vignetting, which I'm not really a fan of, because it really kind of muddled all these edges over here. And this bit, I don't know if you can see. You can't see my mouse.
No, I can't see your mouse, Ed.
The dog's ear. That just drives me nuts.
What does?
That dark blotch.
Where, up top right?
Yeah, it's maybe from a tree or...
Well, I spoke about that. I said that if I was going to take more time, I would take it into Photoshop and actually heal that out.
Yep.
Yeah, I definitely would heal that out. That was bothering me. But I wanted to... My goal here was to bring the focus into the eyes as much as possible.
Right.
I actually pulled back on the yellow a little more than normal, and you left in a little more yellow this time.
Well, I wanted to give it a little bit more warmth because I felt that it was a little flat, and just maybe give it more of a kind of sense of time of day, whereas yours is much cooler. And I like your edit, though. It's nice and sharp. It's nice and crisp. It definitely draws your attention into the eye. I like the coloring, the resultant coloring. It just feels a little bluish on top.
A little bit. Yeah, you're right. I mean, I think somewhere in between of this and the one that you did, I would like the color there. I mean, it's never the easiest to just go and pick a white balance, because unless you have something else that you're looking at to compare it to, it's hard to do it. And that's what's cool, again, about these raw edits, is seeing what everybody's doing. And I see Lee, definitely could pump that up a little bit.
Definitely.
And I see you did a black and white. I didn't do a black and white. It didn't seem to work. I mean, not that I wasn't going to put the time into it. It just seemed like I don't know. The color was just really sweet.
That was my feeling. In fact, I said that. I was like, I don't know. It's just feeling a little bit flat. I hit the V key, and then I was like, wait a second. You know what? If I really take a cue from a friend of mine who really likes, very contrasty, kind of pumped up kind of shots with
pumped up kicks. You're talking about me.
Pumped up kicks. Yes. So I did that, and then I noticed that the little bit of muddled kind of areas in the background I just wanted to lose, and I kind of abbreviated my video to kind of, because it was a little bit boring, just, the overlay and the brush tool. But I didn't do anything else fancy, and I didn't do a fantastic job. I just did a job in the interest of time to kind of isolate the dog, and I actually like the way the dog looks, really nice and contrasty black and white. It's such a departure from this outdoor shot.
Yeah.
But it was just, an experiment. And I kind of mentioned that too, in that, look, it's an experiment. I can always revert back to the original file.
Absolutely. And we say that all the time. Do one main edit and then do something off the wall. I like the black and white. It looks good. I just think that the colors that you've done and that I've done here and Lee has done look better. I think the color lends well to the outside. Great bokeh, because you kind of lose the bokeh in yours.
Yep.
Sorry, in the black and white one.
Agreed.
But I do like these edits, and I think they're They all, yeah, I definitely think mine could be warmed up a little bit. Let me just throw it in there real quick and just
add a little.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to leave up the original file the way that I had it because I already made my video, in all fairness. So
sure.
Yeah, a little bit more was fine because you lose that blue.
Yep.
But it works well. So, you know, I look forward to seeing what everybody has done to this file. I know there's going to be some off-the-wall ones, which are great to see. But,
Always.
But, yeah, you know, I think we both did a nice job this week. And, you said the V key. Remind everybody, the V key gets you right into black and white, correct?
Yep, V key right into the black and white module. And, you know, look, this is a really nice shot. I mean, you know, shooting pets is not often easy because, you know, dogs, cats, they tend to move around a lot.
Yep.
And having that real shallow depth of field, you know, with a dog is difficult because of that. But I you know, look, I'm a sucker for dog photography and dogs, and this is a cute dog. So
all right,
there you go.
So this is Raw Edit of the Week 56. Be sure to send in your raw files like I mentioned before. I'm looking to fill that email box up. I've got like 20-some gigs open in there for you guys to send in raw files. That way we can see a lot of them and start to choose just a bunch of them to start showing you guys, because it makes it fun when we see what you guys are doing and see your edits and your actual raw files. So we will be back with, or I will be back, or somebody will be back with your raw edits of the week 56. Thanks to Alan's Camera again for supporting us here. And yeah, that's where we're going to wrap it up. Adam, we'll see you the next time.
All right, see you then.
All right, Jared, PolandFroKnowsPhoto.com. See ya.